Arian Fenton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, I want to address a number of issues here under this, in my second contribution to this debate. I think what people, Aucklanders, are saying is that this bill has come out with too little on local boards and too much on CCOs, and that's the lack of balance that this bill has come forward with, and that's the concern on this side of the House, because it's a massive con job on Aucklanders. And the government has ignored the voices of Aucklanders who say these changes will make Auckland governance less accountable and less transparent. Now, the government's corporatisation plans for Auckland have been given the green light. Now, they're still planning, despite what we say about CCOs, members on the opposite side, still planning to hand over 75% of local government to council-owned companies, and making these new council companies publish a glossy brochure and hold a press conference every 3 months and calling it accountability. Sorry, but that's not going to satisfy Aucklanders. It doesn't. It's an insult, actually. And a majority of the initial directors are going to be appointed by the Minister, Rodney Hyde. Well, you know, why would you feel comfortable about that? And the CCOs are going to be so big and so powerful that it'll be difficult for the council and the mayor to hold them accountable. And I feel sorry for any mayor. I mean, obviously I have my preferences about going to the next election about who might be the mayor of the super city, but how on earth... Oh, well, no. Actually, no, I'm not a John Banks supporter, but how on earth can they put a platform on transport in Auckland when so much of it is going to be controlled by an organisation that has no accountability to the people of Auckland? And this government, Mr. Chair, is imposing the CCOs in Auckland. Every other council in New Zealand gets to make its own decisions about what is corporatised and what is not. So what's so different about Auckland? Why do Aucklanders have to put up with that? And the government insists on setting up the Transport Agency as a CCO against the wishes of Aucklanders and the advice of 4 government departments who said it would reduce the transparency and accountability to ratepayers. Now, there's some really interesting questions around the CCO on transport, and maybe the Minister can help me with this, because I can't get my head around how this huge corporation, this massive corporation that's controlling millions of dollars, how they're going to deal with things that matter at the local level. Things like school travel planning, or walking school buses, or road safety coordination, and walking and cycling, community road safety, cycle safe, accessibility programs, and other things that matter at a local level that currently councils deal with, who employ staff to deal with those and have plans around those particular things. Now, I think, Mr. Chair, that Aucklanders deserve better from this government. They deserve to have a say in the future of their city, and the government has denied them that. This process of reform held out huge opportunities. It's a missed opportunity. The Royal Commission came up with a vision for Auckland which the government threw in the rubbish bin. You know, it hardly considered it. What did we go from? Pages and pages, 18 months of work, down to 800 pages, down to 2 weeks of work, like 14 pages, something like that, 36 pages. Unbelievable. And, you know, I just think the people of Auckland have been denied a real say to have a future, have an Auckland city that is really worthwhile. Aucklanders want a democratic city, not a corporate city that's outlined in this bill. And I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, that the minor changes in this legislation proposed by the government don't go far enough. They simply don't go far enough. And I think it's interesting to go back to some of the polling that's been done on this. Now, people have mentioned the Herald Digipoll, but I want to go back to the Our Auckland poll. And what they were thinking when they looked at things like the CCOs, first of all, 94% did not think the government has officially asked them what kind of Auckland they want. Now, that's serious. 94% of people. This is 9,000 responses. That's quite big in a very short period of time. And 92% did not want core council services such as water, transport, economic development and tourism and events to be operated by corporate.
Point of order, the Honourable Darren Hughes.
I'm sorry to interrupt my colleague Darren Fenton, who's giving a very good contribution. Sir, from time to time, ministers who are in charge of legislation can't sit in the chair and need to be replaced by another minister. That's completely understandable.